Mark Karr, he made headlines all around the world. The former Georgia teacher claimed he was involved in JonBenet Ramsey's murder on Christmas Day in 1996. Colorado authorities tracked down Karr in Thailand, and he was brought back to the United States. But ultimately, his DNA did not match that of some DNA on the murder scene. So Karr was released with no charges. What is Karr now saying about the case? Mark Karr went on the record. Mark, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Greta.
How you doing?
Okay.
Just okay, or tell me what's going on in your life?
Well, a lot has changed, definitely, since last summer. Last summer I was working in a beautiful school, and I've been a teacher for 10 years, and so now I'm not, and things are quite different, but it's really nice to be surrounded by family and friends and special people in my life.
You're living here in the United States?
Yes, I live in the United States.
In what city?
Live in Atlanta.
You like Atlanta?
Yes, it's been kind to me, somewhat. I mean, in the very beginning it wasn't so kind, but as a whole, Atlanta's a nice city. It's a wholesome place, and I feel safe there.
Do you plan on staying there, or?
I'm not sure that I'll stay there, but I also have a home in Alabama, and I go back there. I was just there recently, and the people in Alabama, of course, know me. They've known me for years, and they've been very nice to me and kind, and I was in Alabama recently and went to church, and it was quite a wonderful experience because my old friends came up and greeted me, and it was really wonderful. They were very supportive, gave me hugs, and told me they would pray for me and introduce me to their children, and just really wonderful. It was a great experience to be back in Alabama, so I do like to spend time there as well.
How do you support yourself? Are you able to work, because you made such international headlines almost? I mean, are you able to get a job after that ordeal?
Not yet. Not yet, I'm not.
How about your personal life?
My personal life is much more quiet than it used to be, of course. My work was a big portion of that, and I don't have my work right now. Hope to have that again. But I've met a very special girl who's helped me get through this time, which it was difficult to go from being a teacher with a career that I loved and to be back in the United States after what happened. And she's a wonderful girl, and I love her very much. And
gonna marry her?
That's a good possibility, yes.
Where'd you meet her?
She extended her concern about what my family was going through, and we met that way.
So, like by email, or called your house? Or?
She called to my father and to extend her concern about what we were going through, just to say, I'm really sorry that you're going through such a hard time, and I hope things get better. And she sent, a card that said that she was thinking of us as a family. It was very nice, and so we started talking, and then we met, and it was just, I think it was a very wonderful thing that happened at a time when I was really going through a difficult period in my life. I still am, but.
So it's a little bit like a blind date, almost. That's gone well.
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah.
You say you're going through a difficult time now. Why is it difficult, or what makes it difficult?
Well, the response sometimes can be difficult that I get from the public. When I do go out, there are times when it's not positive.
People say things to you?
They do. Yeah.
Like?
I've been called certain derogatory terms that aren't very pleasant. That
like?
Killer, murderer.
In public?
Yeah, shouts. I went with my girlfriend to a antique store recently, and the co-owner of the store came in, and he recognized who I was. And he, as I left the store, he walked out of the store and started shouting obscenities to me as I walked down the sidewalk. It was really difficult. But you know, as a whole, that's more rare than other reactions that I get. But it's, you know, it can be negative, and that's difficult for me because I don't know what a person has in mind for me past shouting obscenities. So no one's ever tried to physically hurt me or harm me in any way.
When someone says killer to you, do you say anything?
I don't say anything. I just try to ignore it, but it's not easy. I mean, it's something that I hear, and it's there's nothing I could say to respond to anything like that. I always ignore negative comments, or even if it's someone who's just pointing or staring or whispering, or someone who has a negative facial expression. I always just go along with my life because that's all that I can do at this point.
How does your girlfriend handle this?
I think she handles it really well. She stays by my side. She offers her support after it happens, makes me feel better about it, consoles me, tells me don't worry about that. You know, don't let that get you down. That's I think she handles it quite well.
How do you get your life back to, for lack of a better word, normal? And I'm not sure what's normal in any of our lives, but how do you get your life back to normal?
The best thing that I can do is just to continue to think from this point forward. You know, what can I do to have things like they were? I would like that very much. I just have to keep faith that things will change. Acceptance is quite important. As I said, I went back to Alabama and went to church. I had not been to church since this had all happened. And I was accepted. I didn't know if I'd be accepted or rejected, but I was accepted quite well. So that's the beginning of things being normal, is to just go back to where I was and go back to places that I used to be and feel worthy to attend church and be around people who turn out to be supportive and friendly to me.
How did you end up in Thailand? Out of all the places in the world one could go, you went to Thailand.
I've been living abroad for 5 years, and I've lived in Europe and Central America and off the coast of South Africa, different parts of the world, and that just was my next destination. I'd always been interested in Bangkok, and so I went to Bangkok and liked it quite well. It was a place that had lots of job opportunities. And I got a job in a beautiful international school. I was so happy with my job. I did not intend to leave Bangkok for at least another 2 years.
Why did you like the job?
It was an international school. It was a grade 2 position.
What does that mean? You mean second grade?
Yeah, right,
okay.
Right. And I'd done second grade in the past. I'd done second grade in Honduras, Central America. I really liked that. I liked the grade level. I had a beautiful classroom. It was probably the most beautiful classroom I've ever had, and I just spent 3 weeks decorating my classroom, putting up posters that I'd made by hand, and I just had a beautiful classroom, a beautiful class. You know, the students were wonderful. I just started the job. I wanted to be there for at least 2 years, and had intended to be there for that amount of time.
Any reason why second grade as opposed to high school? Do you ever teach older kids, or you like little kids, or why second grade?
Well, I was professionally trained to work in the elementary grades, mostly the early childhood grades, which would be like K through 3. And I enjoyed teaching children to read, for instance. It's one of my favorite subjects. And then I got involved with teaching children English a bit. But most of the time I worked in international schools or bilingual schools where I taught the same as I did in America. And it's just, high school was not my niche. I did try high school for a bit, but I found that I worked best with children, and also on an academic level I work best with them. You know,
the whole sort of mystique around you or discussion around you is whether you've got some sort of unusual or unnatural attraction to children, or I don't know how to politely put it. How do you respond to that?
That's not correct.
Never did anything funny with a child, any unnatural, ever touch a child inappropriately?
No.
Why do you think people said that about you?
I think that people said a lot of things about me.
But why you and not me or not somebody
Well,
else? Why you?
Well, in light of my arrest, that would be a reaction that some people might have, but they need to look deeper into those things.
So it's flat out not true.
It's not true.
When you were in Thailand, at some point you got arrested. Was it a total shock to you? All of a sudden, one day someone knocks on your door, or did you have wind of it?
No, it wasn't a total shock at all. I mean, it was a surprise because I didn't turn myself into law enforcement.
So you knew somebody was looking for you?
Not necessarily. I mean, I was having discussions with a professor at University of Colorado at Boulder, and from time to time when we talked, I had a feeling that he might be possibly communicating with law enforcement. But
did you talk to him on the phone, or was this all by email with him?
it was a combination of phone conversations, email correspondences, and some writings that I'd been doing and submitting to him.
How do you find him, or how do he find you? Because you're in Thailand, he's in Colorado.
Yeah, I was in Paris in 2002, and I ran into a man who worked for the Daily Camera, Michael Sandrock, and he lived in Boulder. And he started talking to me. He gave me his card. We were just having a conversation about writing, I believe. And I looked at his card and I said, Boulder, Colorado, that's a beautiful city. I've been there. That's a beautiful place. And, of course, he started talking about the Ramsey case. And he mentioned a man that he'd met in Colorado, in Boulder, Michael Tracy, who had expressed his feelings that he thought that her parents were innocent and they were being mistreated. And I said, I'd like to talk to that man. You know, I'd like to meet this person who's saying those things.
Just curious, or because you knew something?
I guess a combination of the two.
And so he said, I'll hook you up with this person?
Yes, he did. He just merely gave me an email address. But he said he had coffee with him on a regular basis and that he was quite passionate about his feelings about the Ramsey family.
When were you in Boulder, and were you living there or just passing through?
I've passed through several times.
Why Boulder? I mean, I know it's a beautiful town. A lot of people pass through, but why for you?
Nothing, no reason. It's like passing through any other place. I've passed through a lot of places.
Did you ever spend any time there?
Some.
What do you consider some?
I don't know. Not very much time.
More than a week?
I wouldn't say more than a week, no.
So more of a holiday type thing, passing through?
Somewhat, possibly, yeah.
What do you think about Boulder?
I think Boulder is a beautiful little city, and the people are very friendly. They remind me much of people in the Southeast. They're very hospitable, and it's just a friendly little place. It seems to be a peaceful place and wholesome, and just it's a nice city. I've always said wonderful things about it, even when I was living abroad. If I met someone from Boulder, I'd always say, "Oh, what a beautiful city!" And it is. It's a beautiful city. I still don't have any hard feelings about Boulder. And the way I was brought back to Boulder was negative, of course. But I don't have any hard feelings. I still love Boulder. I think it's a wonderful city.
Ever see the Ramsey home?
In Boulder,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
How do you happen to see it?
I've just seen it on several occasions.
Physically, not just on TV or in a picture?
Yes.
You've been
Physically,
to the home?
of course, yes.
Have you ever been in the home? No answer?
I don't think that I can answer that, no.
Whether you've been in the home?
Yes.
Why can't you answer whether you've been in the home? Just no answer.
Right.
How about, were you in Boulder before JonBenet was found dead, in the weeks, months before that? I mean, do you have a long enough history in Boulder, as I'm asking?
Yeah, I've been there before that.
How about the time that she died?
Well, I think I've responded to that in the past on the record, so I don't think I really feel like responding to it again.
It's sort of curious on the record's name of the show, so it's, I don't know if you've never told me. I mean, we've talked once before, and I haven't gone back through all your interviews, so I don't know if you've said it on the record maybe you can help us out again, at least tell us whether you're in Boulder at the time she died.
I did respond to that. It was something I responded to on camera in Bangkok.
Oh, what did you tell them?
Something that I can't repeat anymore. I wish I could, but I can't.
Did what you said in Bangkok, was that correct? So we'll resurrect it. Was that correct, what you said in Bangkok about whether you were in Boulder at the time JonBenet died?
It was correct.
Okay, so we'll just resurrect that.
Okay.
So you weren't, you had this communication with this professor. Did you like him?
I did. He was a person who held some views about the Ramsey family that I definitely held. There's no doubt about that.
Like what?
Fine people, good people who didn't need to suffer any more than they did from what had initially happened. That it was uncalled for, that they had to be treated as they were, like suspects, which they should never have been treated that way.
So you don't think that either John or Patsy had anything to do with the death of JonBenet?
Absolutely not.
And of course, Patsy's died.
Yes, this month, last year, June 24th.
Did you ever meet Patsy?
I can't respond to that.
Whether you've met her?
Yes.
How about John? Have you ever met John Ramsey?
I believe he was asked that question. He says he doesn't recall ever seeing me, so I think that suffices as my response as well.